So several of you have submitted questions around joining a board and board service and throughout our promotions of the board training program. And so we thought we would take just a little bit of time to answer some of those questions for you. First up, we have how to be considered. I'll take a stab at this one. You've got to get involved. You've got to show up and you've got to make yourself known to that nonprofit organization. They will oftentimes look at who their top donors are or who their lead volunteers are when board positions become available and they're seeking someone to fill those positions. Second up, we've got how do you find a board that's actually looking for people, that has openings?
You can go on their website and see if they're looking. You can get in touch with the executive director. It's really just as simple as contacting the organization. They would love to hear from interested potential board members.
Yeah, and several boards have nominating committees, and so by expressing your interest, it may not be that you join right then, but at least your name will be in the pool for when the nominating committee does their work again.
Also, we provide a list of open board positions 2 times a year where you can find hundreds of nonprofits looking for board members. Our next one comes out this fall.
Yes, it's a very popular list, so be on the lookout for that. Another question we had was, is it a huge commitment? And really, this is a variable answer because it depends on where the nonprofit is in the nonprofit life cycle. So when you're working with a startup nonprofit, maybe one that's more in its infancy, it's got a very intense, heavy working board. You're going to be investing a lot of time in making sure that nonprofit is, in essence, operating. Whereas, if you have a more mature nonprofit who's been around for a long time, they've got established staff, then your role is really going to be more of a governance and oversight position.
Exactly.
So another question we had, Charlie, was about the financial commitment, an obligation to joining a board. Is it expensive?
It doesn't have to be. It depends on the board, but there usually is a requirement called a give-get, which means you're either giving your own money to the nonprofit or you're required to help fundraise for the nonprofit. And that is changing a little bit. Sometimes it's just a gift that's personally meaningful to you, and sometimes it is actually set amount. So that is something you want to ask about when you're applying to be a part of a board.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love that it's becoming more flexible and accessible. So another question we had was, do you need nonprofit experience? No.
No, you don't.
No. What makes boards great is when there's a variety of skill sets on that board. So nonprofits are companies. They need people that have accounting skills. They need people that have legal knowledge. They need people that are great with technology and marketing and
HR.
It runs the gamut. And boards look for diversity of both personal and professional skills when assessing their board members and who's going to be a good candidate to join. Okay, lastly, what do boards do?
They do a lot. They are leaders in the organization. They provide governance. They provide leadership. They hire executive directors.
Absolutely.
They fundraise.
Yes, they fundraise. They're responsible for the financial success and the organizational success of that nonprofit. So they're very, very, very important.
And they're ambassadors for the nonprofit.
So seriously though, if you have any more questions or if you feel like you need deeper answers to the ones that we just addressed, please come to the board training program. It is perfect if you are seeking out board or committee service at a nonprofit. Also, if you're a new nonprofit member and just need a little bit more information, or if you're like me, a lifetime learner, and you can always learn something when you attend events like this, come join us November 12th. All right.
Yeah.